Hey guys, it's Noah. Hey, I wanted to go over this proposal with you guys, so we're all on the same page. It's kind of it's only a few pages long, but here's your proposal that I just sent out to you. Just kind of want to go over some details on this. So line item number one, that's the actual bridge. That's kind of the most important part, the nuts and bolts. It's 50 foot long, 12 foot wide. That's 12 foot wide clear, rated for HS20, which is 72,000 pounds. That's what your fire department is probably going to want. If you wanted to do a 40,000 pounds or 42,000 pounds, we can probably reduce this number by maybe $5,000 or so, because all we're doing is using smaller members to get this bridge to do what we want it to do, but we still have all the labor tied into it. So just smaller members if you wanted a lighter weight. Now what we're doing is we're taking one of our S89 by 9 bridges, just these rail cars, and we're actually going to shorten it down to 50 foot. We can shorten it to 55 foot to 47 foot. So the length, we have some wiggle room on exactly what length we're gonna use. That's after we do the engineering. We'll tie up that length, and then just making it wider. Now the deck, the 89 foot rail car already comes with a solid steel deck. So we're just adding a little bit more steel to make that 12 foot wide solid steel deck. It's gonna be a great bridge. The bearing kits, this is our typical steel plates and rubber pads that we put underneath the bridge. That's pretty standard. Anti-slip coating, depending on the size of the bridge, 50 times 12 is 720 square feet. This is, let me pull up a website for you real quick so you can see what that is. All right, so this is the AS250. We get it from typically Sherwin-Williams. You can, it's a great product. If you go to our YouTube channel and just search for AS250 or anti-slip deck coating, you can kind of see what that is.
This is a product that
I made several years ago, but that's kind of what it looks like. It's a pretty aggressive surface. You kind of pour it on and you squeegee it out, you roll it out. It's pretty aggressive stuff. So that's the actual decking. Let me go back to the proposal. All right, so that's the anti-slip GC10 guardrails. Let me pull that up real quick. All right, this is a bridge we did here in California for the state of California using our standard GC10 guardrails. They're by far our most common guardrails. You can see it has substantial posts all the way down. They're like either a 6x6 square tube or a W6 I-beam, wide flange I-beam. These are typically 2x6s, 2x6 rectangular tubes on the side and on the top, and then little 1x1s all the way across the bottom there. Now, do you need guardrails? I don't think you do. Maybe you do. City county may require it. Now our drawings have to show it, because we obviously we don't want the liability of this bridge being built and not having guardrails, and then somebody falling off and getting hurt. So we're putting that on you. So we're going to design the bridge with the guardrails. Our plans, our engineering plans, always include guardrails. But if you don't want us to build them, that's entirely up to you. I know they're not cheap, so that you could save some money by not building them now. But it is a liability later. So it's $36,000 to build those. We do strongly suggest that you do build those. But it's a private bridge. You can do whatever you want. I get that. I'm not going to force you to put guardrails on right now. So that's what that's for, the GC10 guardrails. And we price them out per 10 linear feet sections. So depending on the bridge length, this will go up and down as well. Okay. Then we have the paint the bridge deck. So this is actually not painting the deck itself. The deck is up here, the anti-slip coating. So that's the deck. I guess this is more like the sides of the bridge and not the top of the bridge. Let me get another video. Actually, I'm just browsing through my YouTube channel. There's actually quite a few videos that you guys might find helpful. Like I already have that S60 by 12 with GC10 guardrails already kind of modeled out for. Let me pause it. Skip this video, this commercial. All right, so I've already had this bridge modeled, so you can kind of see what it's going to look like. Now, if you look here, this is how we're going to make our bridge wider. We just add these arms all the way down. So it's going to come in at 9 foot. We just add a bunch of arms all the way across. So whether you're going 40,000 pound capacity or 72,000 pound capacity, We still have to put these arms on here. We're just putting lighter gauge steel on there. So the amount of labor, it really stays the same, whether you're doing 40 or 72,000 pounds. But you can also the GC10 guardrails. This one is utilizing W6 beams, same 2x6 side rail and top rail, same 1x1. These little, we call them the infill. That's just to keep little kids from falling through. Okay. Now I'm going to go back and show you a couple of the videos that you might find helpful. This paint quality and quantity. So if you wanted to go to our videos and take a look at that one, that's GB10. GB10 is going to be very similar as well, but we do have videos that talks about the paint quantity and quality. Well, you can search for that video so you can see what we're providing as far as paint, because we're not going to paint the entire bridge. We're not painting all the way up underneath the bridge. We're just painting the exposed sides of the bridge. If you want more painted, then you just increase the quantity, 200 square feet. So that's just based on square footage, how much paint you want. Now, just keep in mind, whenever the bridge arrives, the rail car arrives, it will come already completely painted. But my face looks kind of dark. It will come completely painted with an existing paint job. We don't pick the color. It's usually a yellow or a black or a brown. But that's like up underneath the bridge that you really don't see anyhow. So we'll have protective coating already on there. Generally, they're in pretty good condition. So whenever we're talking about these painting fees, it's painting the exposed sides of the bridge that we're adding the guardrails to, if you want us to do the guardrails. Okay. Now, for the same price, we could for this bridge, we can make it. We can design it with a curb, an 8-inch tall curb. That way, you do have some layer of protection. That wouldn't be that big of a deal. The warranty, that's all. This is our engineering fee, how much we're going to charge to design the bridge and warranty the bridge. So we're going to guarantee the bridge for 1 year. If you wanted a 3-year, 5-year, 10-year, we can also do that. It just the price goes up a little bit. Delivery of the bridge, $10,000. That's just freight. Modifying the existing abutments. So your abutments, we're going to have to probably put a cap on it. Some kind of a steel cap we're gonna have to embed down in order to protect it. We don't want to mess with it too much, so that's a little bit more steel and labor to put a cap on your existing abutments. We may have to trim them down as well. Yours have your abutments are kind of U-shaped, so we may need to trim that down a little bit because our bridge is going to be wider than what those abutments would allow. All right, so that's adjusting your abutments. And I do want to point out that we can't guarantee what's going to happen to your abutments. Okay, well, this is not our first rodeo, but we don't know what your old abutments were made out of. This is the labor to set the bridge in place. Okay, and that's all for the bridge. So that's like the whole bridge package there. You can modify, you can add, you can delete, whatever you want to. We're okay with it. If you don't want to paint the bridge, fine. Don't paint the bridge. Paint it next year. Paint it in a couple of years. Not a big deal. You can check out our YouTube channel. Now the next part is turnkey. If you want us to manage the project, give permits, work with the city or the county or the jurisdiction. So let me go through some of those fees for you real quick. So project management, if we're taking our plans, so we will, that warranty on that previous page is $18,000 here. This fee over here, that's going to provide you our structural plans. Okay, so once we walk those structural plans over to the jurisdiction, then we're at their mercy. What else do they want? They probably want a lot more stuff than just a structural plan. They want a civil plan as well, grading plan. They may want topography. They want a lot more than just our structural plans. You know what? Let me give you an example of what our structural plans look like. Let me pull some up. All right, here's a set of plans that we typically do. So this is bridge isn't quite what yours is. This is a longer bridge. It does have kind of remotely similar guardrails. These are GB guardrails. They don't have the infill, but kind of the same thing. But you can see these are what our plans look like. It tells us what we're designing to, which on this particular case, you know, we're designing to HS20. You can see that right there. Okay, this is a project for over here in California, but you can see this is what our plans look like. There's there's no like topography or civil drawings with our standard engineering plans. These are just structural plans, and that's it. So it includes the bridges, it includes all the abutment work. These use helicals. Uh, um, so it includes a bunch of details. This is three rail car side by side by side, rebar fitment. So, but this is what our plans generally look like: a cover sheet with some details, what we're designing to, and then just how to build this bridge. Okay. So that's so if you're obviously you're I'm assuming your jurisdiction's probably going to want some kind of topography. They may not, but I'm assuming they will. Um, but to manage a job, this is we'll take those plans, our structural plans, walk them over to the county or the city, and they may want a civil. They may want some more information. So once we submit that, we'll have to start adding more fees depending on what other services we need to go out and hire. So the project management fee is $11,500. That's for us to go to the city or the county and submit our plans, and then they're going to tell us what else we need. The permit application, the actual fees. I'm sorry, if you want us to pull the permit itself, that's $9,800. So the project management is $11,500. To actually pull the permit is $9,800. The expected permit fee is $5,000. It could be $2,000. It could be $500. I have no idea what that is, but $5,000 is a pretty reasonable number for this kind of a job. But that's completely out of our hand. We'll charge you whatever they charge us. Survey, if they want us to survey our site, we don't need a survey because it's already an existing bridge. But if they want us to create a survey and include it with our plans, then we have to go out and hire a surveyor, local surveyor. That's budgeted at $4,000. Could be $1,000, could be $6,000, but $4,000 is a pretty safe number. Generally, $2,500 to $4,500 is what we see them come in at. Soils analysis, if they want us to do a soils analysis, this is what we typically see that fee coming in at. We'll hire a local soils analysis company to do that. Price range generally is between $1,500 to maybe $4,000 on the high side for a soils analysis. Civil. So if they want us to start designing some of the roadway work beyond the bridge, that's what it's going to be, and that can be kind of anywhere from $5,000 to $12,000, depending on what kind of civil engineer we can find that can do this work. We generally our engineers are structural engineers. We don't really like to get into civil engineering, so we let the local civil engineer to the civil engineering with our structural plans. Okay, hydraulic analysis. This is basically going to tell. This is only if the city requires it. This tells us how much water flow is going under the waterway. We don't care, but if the city wants us to care, then we have to find somebody to do this for us. Environmental analysis, same thing. We don't really need this, but maybe the jurisdiction does, so we have to get another report. Roadway approaches, if you want us to take care of the roadways beyond, and this is just gravel, we're not even talking asphalt. This is something that you guys can probably handle yourselves, but we just want to add a budget number just in case you guys want us to do that. We can, and that's it. That's a whole 9 yards. So all of these fees were over here. It's just shy of $100,000, maybe $90,000 or so, just for the permit stuff. Okay. So I'll keep this video short. That's all. If you have any questions, and so a lot of these other things over here, if you want to try to reduce costs, there are some ways that we can explore to reduce costs as well. But this is kind of the nuts and bolts of the actual bridge itself. But we're pretty flexible. We'll love to work with you guys. I appreciate it. Thanks.